we're gonna talk about some common types of credit in this video. But first, I want to share some pros and cons to credit. Managing credit can be great for you. It's like a superpower. What Spider-Man said, great credit comes great responsibility, something like that. One of the most common pros of having credit is the ability to stay cash liquid. Me and my boy always talk about it all the time, man. Like, how can we stay cash liquid? Because you never know when you're gonna need your cold, hard cash, right? So that's why cash is still king, but credit right behind it, Managing credit the right way can put you in the game and set you up to make a big play. So cash is king, don't forget that. Which is why you don't ever want to buy anything on credit if you don't have the cash to cover the payment. You know what I'm saying? So credit can save you. It could be a game changer. It's a great tool, great resource. That's one of the pros of it. You can keep your cash liquid, you can keep your cash on you, pay it in credit, and then pay it back later. You know what I'm saying? And take your time with it. With everything, man, I always preach, man, there's always an opposite to everything. So yeah, you can keep your cash in your pocket, but with credit, you can also dig yourself in a hole, right? So the pro is keep your cash in the pocket, stay liquid. A con is if you don't have liquid cash for starters and you using credit, especially if you paying interest on it and credit cards, you can dig yourself into a financial hole that can drive you all the way to just maxing you out to where, you're just paying these banks and institutions just all this money in interest. The worse your credit score is, the higher that APR is going to be on those credit cards and other different credit products you might have. Credit is a great tool, but managing it is you have to be a great manager of credit in order to really get the full effect of how powerful credit can be for you. The main point of this video is we're gonna go over 3 types of credit: revolving credit, you got installment credits, and you got an open account. So if this don't ring a bell for you already by what I'm saying, those terms I'm saying, you're good. This is a financial literacy page. It's your boy CoffGotGame. Buckle up, grab your favorite cup. You know what I'm saying? Because Coff got some game. My name is Juwan Coffee, and I'm a self-made entrepreneur. And I'm making financial literacy cool. I'm breaking it down for you so that way you don't get finesse out here in these streets. I'm breaking it down for you to really understand so you can take your finances to that next level, right? So remember, do me a favor, click the like, subscribe, share this video with somebody. The more you do that, the more I can bring you more game, right? Be sure to reach out to me and comment, follow me on all socials. All right, so first on our list is revolving credit. What is revolving credit? So you think revolving credit, this the word, breaking down the word revolving means something that goes around and around. And that's exactly what revolving credit is. It's a line of credit that pretty much is recycles as you use and pay it. It's a never ending cycle. As long as you spend it, you pay it, you get it reloaded, right? So the most common type of revolving credit is a credit card, right? So the bank give you $10,000 on your credit card, you can swipe it all you want to, right? How it works is, and I'm going basic, and I want you to really understand this. A credit card is a revolving line of credit. So the bank gives you a card, and you can swipe it to buy stuff, buy whatever you want. And at the end of the month, you have a minimum payment that's due, right? Most credit cards, now you have credit cards that offer you introductory terms that don't require you to pay any interest on that money you borrow. But you also have credit cards that don't. So what happens is, you use a credit card, let's say your credit card has a limit of $10,000 and you spend $5,000. Now you owe $5,000 to the institution, but you still have $5,000 remaining to use. Credit cards, it's not free money. You gotta pay it back still. So I highly stress, if you use that $5,000 on that card, stop. Don't over leverage yourself. The bank want the money back. They tell you only required to pay the minimum payment, but if that card has an interest rate attached to it, you can pay the minimum payment. You're cool, you're good, your card is open. But what they don't tell you, what they don't really advertise highly, is the fact that you're paying interest on that $5,000 you spent. So it's best, one of the best practices with a credit card is to use it for everyday purchases, because most credit cards come with a reward point system. You know what I'm saying? So when my first credit card, I used to use for gas, groceries, and things I'm gonna spend money on regardless. I used to use that credit card, and I would pay it off that same month. If I'm gonna spend cash, I might as well just add credit to the equation, acquire those reward points. I'm gonna redeem later on this year, buy myself something, they offer all type of incentives to get you to spend more, to over leverage yourself to get you in debt, because that's how they make money. So they can, they can charge you, interest on that debt. So credit cards are very dangerous. It's a once again, it's a revolving line of credit, and I strongly suggest only purchasing what you have in cash. Use a credit card, but don't spend anything more than what you have in cash, because you want to pay that balance down in full or close to it. In further videos, I'm gonna explain like some hacks to credit cards and how you can finesse the banks. You know what I'm saying? It's a game you gotta play, and that's gonna be like the common topic of this channel is financial literacy. The more literate you are in finances, the more you understand the game. You feel me? So credit is a game changer. The more you know, the more dangerous you are, and the more you can hit these banks across the head. They've been finessing people for years and years to come. They good with money. They billionaires already. We trying to get the M's popping. We want to create generational wealth for us, for our family. So listen, next up is going to be installment accounts. Personally, I like installment accounts because they're fixed. Like they're already pre-built. So for instance, if you have a car note, right? Car $20,000, and you finance it for 3 years, whatever it is. They take the total amount of the car, and they break it up into monthly payments. So you don't have to worry about any outrageous interest rates and all that stuff. Like when you sign that contract with an installment account, and it could be a personal loan too. Like all an installment account is pretty much an account that you have a preset, pre-agreed upon monthly total every month for a certain duration. Right? So the good part about it, man, it's like what to expect. If you have a budget and you want to go buy a vehicle because you need a convenient, reliable means to go to work, it's safe to go and get an auto loan because it's an installment account. You can find something that's affordable for you, something that fits in your budget, but you're still able to invest in yourself, invest in your retirement, do your thing, have some money for this. It makes having a reliable means of transportation, or it makes getting a home, stuff. It makes it manageable. The way the installment account is set up. This loan type is typical for like mortgages, auto loans, and personal loans, right? So you're gonna know going into it based on your credit. The higher your credit score is, the lower that interest rate is gonna be, right? So with credit cards, the interest rate varies, and they tell you that in the fine print. You look at that little credit card thing, the contract, and they gotta put your magnifying glass on. It tells you that the interest rate is variables, changes. With installment loans, personal loan mortgages, you buy something at set price, and it comes with a APR, attachment interest rate finance charge for borrowing that money, and then they give you a grand total of how much it's gonna cost to keep that loan active, open, and pay it on time. That's an installment account. One of the last ones is open accounts. Open account is common for utility accounts, cell phone contracts, and other contracts that are relatively not that costly, right? So every open account has a balance that must be paid in full each month. So unlike other credit accounts that you have to pay the minimum payment, an open account doesn't charge any interest at all. And the catch is it doesn't appear to your credit report unless the company reports late payments. So generally, these aren't really going to affect you unless you don't pay them. You know what I'm saying? So if my people out there back in the day turned 18, the big thing was going to the cell phone companies and getting, these phones or whatever. So, if you default on the phone, if you paid it on time, you're responsible with it. They didn't report it to your credit. They will pull your credit. They'd be like a soft pull or hard pull, depending on where you apply that. But these open accounts are pretty much, they check your credit to get you approved, check your risk level, and then it doesn't report to your credit unless you default on it. I had like some cable bills that I was trying to buy a house, things popped up, and I was like, oh, I paid them. So that's another story. But these are open accounts. They initially check your credit to see who you are and verify you, and then they extend their products and services to you. And if you default on it, or if you close that account and you don't do it the proper way, and there's still a balance you haven't paid, or the equipment you haven't returned, then that's when that account will go on your credit as a negative derogatory account. So that's pretty much it. We talked about revolving credit accounts, credit cards. We talked about installment loans. Those are your auto loans, personal loans, mortgages, etc. And then we talked about open accounts, where companies, who might offer a cable service, cell phone service, they check your credit, and they extend you, open account where, you can get their products and services, you know, at a monthly cost. So we're gonna get into it. You know, feel free to comment. You know, leave me some game of what you think about these different accounts. You know, your experiences with them. Just talk with me. This is a channel where we're gonna break down financial literacy topics, and credit is one of my favorite subjects to discuss. And a lot of people just, you know, get into the credit game and they just be like they try to just attack it. You know what I'm saying, from the top. You know, take baby steps. Let's learn credit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna teach you because I had to teach myself. You know, from the ground up, from the basics. If you understand the basics, you know what I'm saying, you can get into the more advanced stuff. It's some game that it works 100% of the time when paying your debt off. You know what I'm saying? So the key is when paying off your debt, pay your debt in full 3 times a week. Now that means open your credit card account on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays and just pay the whole balance off. Whatever amount it may be, so you don't get penalized for late payments. Additionally, it's almost every 2 days because credit transactions typically take 2 days or so to be cleared by the banks. But this method works for many people and it should be part of your personal finance hygiene, like your personal lineup. The same way you work out, take care of your personal health, right? So credit is a game. If you don't know much about credit, you gotta start with the basics. This is one of those advanced player type hacks to help you finesse the credit companies, credit bureaus, etc. with your credit cards. You know, you don't want to get charged on interest or late payments. So one, don't spend what you don't have in cash. You don't want to rack up a credit card debt. But at the same time, these, like for instance, like a bank, they give you a $500 card and you only using $500 of that card, they're not gonna give you any more money. So you want to use credit cards, but you don't want to you want to be purposeful and intentional with, you know, how you're using them, why you're using them, and whatnot. But understand as a game, if you want higher limits, especially my inspiring entrepreneur, you know, if you want to get access to high limit cards, you have to use close to your limit consistently, and then at 3 months or 6 months, ask for an increase. So if you got a credit card, $5,000 limit, and you're trying to increase it periodically, I recommend every 3 to 6 months going to your financial institution that a credit card is with and asking for a credit line increase. I went to Apple, I got my Apple card with them, and every 3 months, they give me an increase. I update my income, they give me an increase, and like my last one was, they took me from 9,000 to 11,500. Cool with that. 3 months from now, I'm using that card. 3 months from now, I might be at about 15,000. That's just a little hat right there. Parting words, remember, you know, I was strategy with credit. Understand credit, overstand credit. Don't get into the credit game not understanding it because you'll blink twice and you'll be in debt, and then you'll be looking for somebody to fix your credit. And then you gotta come to Jason with my own enterprises. You gotta tell me, hey, Coffee, my credit score is 500 and I'm trying to buy a house tomorrow, and can you fix my credit? So let's understand credit, you know. I ain't take no shots on nobody with bad credit. I've been there before. But you know, one of the mistakes that we make and the reason we get bad credit is because we jump in the pool without knowing how to swim. Let's learn how to swim. And here on this channel, CoffGotGame is gonna teach you how to swim with credit. CoffGotGame will teach you financial literacy. I am not an attorney. I'm not a financial advisor. You know what I'm saying? This is simply recommendations. This is simply a testimonial of my own experiences. And this is, you know, me giving you some game about stuff that I read about and I've had, you know, personal experiences with. So I hope you learned something from today. Be sure to like the video, comment, let's interact. Follow me on my socials, reach out to me, subscribe, tell a friend, share this video with a friend. It helps with the algorithm. The more you do that, the more I can bring you more game. All right, so CoffGotGame, we out.